Australian share market saw a solid start to trade on Monday with the ASX 200 up by 13 points or just under 1/4%. It wasn't able to hold on to its early improvements, but on balance a good start to the week considering that the index was up by around 1 1/4 last week and still remaining at its best levels in around 10 years. So importantly, the markets at the weekend did quite well. We didn't hear any official response from the Chinese in relation to the tariffs that officially came into force on the part of the US at the end of last week. So a pretty solid atmosphere as far as the general picture for equity markets are concerned to start the new week. Banks were ahead generally as a group, although Westpac underperformed. The CBA was the best of the big four. Mining stocks were generally firmer. BHP Billiton was up by around 2% on some news that perhaps BP is interested in buying their US shale oil and gas assets. So this has been a story in the press at the weekend. It's been suggested that BP will take the entire business and pay as much as $13 billion for that transaction. So good news on that front for the big miner. Fortescue Metals was flat, and we've seen iron ore prices tend to underperform over the course of the last week. Not much company news around to start the week. Wattle Healthcare, having seen gains of around 10% over the course of the last couple of weeks, was a little bit weaker today. They've had some pretty positive news flow lately. Domino's Pizza continued its recent trend, falling away by another 3%, having fallen by about 6% last week. There is some disquiet amongst analysts as far as the headwinds facing their offshore businesses are concerned. And equally, we've seen Bellamy's under pressure. They were down by about 20% last week, down a further 1% today. As far as coming days are concerned, we've got some important numbers in relation to inflation and trade, both out of the US and China. So in particular, the US inflation figures will be important at a time when discussing prospective rate increases is still an important topic. The Aussie dollar is firmer today at 74.7 US cents.